and we haven't talked about it since, and I'm okay with that because I have my boyfriend and everything, but I just wish she would have been more accepting and, like, everybody else would have, like, treated me like a normal person for liking girls. Like, it was really difficult for me to, like, show affection in public because people would always be like, that's so hot. Like, it was just so awkward and embarrassing.
Hi, my name is Claudia Navarez. I currently attend U of I, and I am 19 years old. I would like to share with you a time where I felt that my sexuality wasn't taken seriously. I would consider myself bisexual. I've experienced with both women and men, but I tend to find women more attractive, and I love getting pleasured by women. One time I came out to my aunt, and it was the first person in my family that I ever came out to about my experience with a woman, and she laughed in my face and she told me that I just haven't had good dick yet, basically saying that I was confused and I don't know what it's like to feel pleasured by a guy because I haven't had big dick or good dick. I was very offended because I felt like she didn't accept me, and I felt that she thought I was lying to her about my experience with a woman. And it just hurt my feelings because, I like women more than I would ever do anything with a guy. Yes, I've had sexual intercourse with a guy, but I didn't enjoy it. And with a woman, I enjoy it the most. And women to me are like, I'm attracted to them. And I don't know, I just wanted to share this time where I just felt like I wasn't accepted by my aunt, and this is someone who I tell everything to.
This person prefers not to be recorded. She's a junior at the University of Illinois. She wanted to talk about how when she goes to bars, she recognizes that when two women kiss, people will be cheering them on, and guys will get excited and talk about how it's hot. And so she wanted to experiment that. And then on 2 occasions, she made out with a woman at the bar. One woman was a feminine woman and one woman was a masculine woman. And the first time with the feminine woman, people were cheering them on and guys were talking about how it was hot. And then her point was to convey that they're actually still a couple and not just people doing it for fun. And she noticed that when people realized that they were still a couple, then the situation would die down. And then when she did it with the masculine woman, people seemed to notice from the start that they were actually a couple. And then when they were kissing, they got looks, both from men and women, that looked like confusion, and they were baffled and even maybe disgusted. And she feels like this conveys the sexualization of two women together because people want to just be, like, especially men, for their pleasure, and two feminine women, when lesbianism encompasses more than that and is an actual relationship and not just two women together sexually for other people's enjoyment. She also wants to talk about how she sees videos online of two women kissing out and people cheering them on, and once again talking about how it's hot. And she says that this just kind of shows the objectification of these women, and she feels like it's unfair to them that they cannot express their sexuality without that sexualization. After listening to girls share their stories of sexualization for their sexuality, we asked outsiders for their input. Since both men and women have perpetuated the sexualization, we spoke to both male and female volunteers. We asked 4 questions. Were you aware of this issue before we talked about it? What are your thoughts or feelings about it? Have you yourself ever perpetuated the issue? And what do you think can be done about this issue? The following recordings are outsiders' responses. This person prefers not to be named. She's a freshman at the University of Illinois. So, were you aware of this issue before we had talked about it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very prevalent in the media, especially, and just on college campuses, as well as just my friends sometimes say stuff about it. So yeah.
Do you mind me asking what things your friends have said?
Yeah, so basically, like, if they're watching like a TV show and there's like a lesbian couple on there, they'd be like, ooh, or like showing that they are interested in that kind of stuff and just like sexualizing it, and yeah, just stuff like that.
Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share on the issue?
I just feel like it shouldn't be a thing overall. Like, we shouldn't be sexualizing someone's sexual preferences or sexuality. Like, it's their own personality, and I think that needs to be recognized rather than it being sexy to some people, because they have been through struggles. Like, the LGBTQ plus community has like so many struggles, and just sexualizing it, I feel like it's just like degrading. And yeah.
So this is going to be a tough question, but do you feel like you yourself have ever perpetuated this issue?
I really hope not. I don't think I have. I'm always, I'm kind of bold, so I'm always the one to really say something if someone says something offensive or something like that. So, like, when my friends say it, I always, like, tell them, like, that's not okay, and, like, we shouldn't be doing that. So hopefully I haven't said anything, but yeah.
Do you have any ideas on how we as a community at the University of Illinois can help out this issue and try and put an end to the sexualization?
I feel like just making sure that, like, each person plays their part in, like, saying, like, standing up for these people, because they have been, like, oppressed and stuff like that, so they really may not want to stand up for themselves. So making sure that you're an ally and just standing up for things, and when you see something that you feel is wrong, you stand up for it and not be scared to say something.
Thank you. Yeah. This is a student. He's a junior at the U of I. So were you aware of this issue before we brought it up to you?
Definitely. Women who like women are objectified all the time.
So do you have any thoughts on this issue?
Well, actually, I feel straight men tend to objectify women who like women more than straight women and queer men and women. I've also observed a double standard amongst heterosexual men and women in this regard. Straight men tend to be more open and embracing to the homosexual sexualization of women when compared to that of homosexual men, and vice versa when the conversation moves to that of straight women.
So this one's a little tough, but do you think that you yourself have ever perpetuated the issue?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, but not to be offensive. As a homosexual myself, I viewed such objectification from members of the community to be that of a supportive nature instead of one that is degrading.
Do you have any ideas on how this could be addressed?
That's actually a hard question. I feel it comes down to those individual women's views of being objectified. I have girlfriends who indulge in being objectified, and I have others that just aren't comfortable with it. In a public setting, I don't think it is necessary to take any action unless it is apparent those being objectified are offended or uncomfortable.
The student is a sophomore at the University of Illinois. So were you aware of this issue before we talked about it?
I was aware. I had a couple friends that have experienced the issue over the years.
Okay, do you have any thoughts or feelings about the issue?
Yeah, I just think it is a weird concept that men tend to sexualize bisexual and lesbian women when most of the time they're not even interested in them. It's just a very foreign concept to me.
So I know this is tough, but do you feel like you yourself have ever perpetuated the issue? Be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I'm not necessarily attracted to women, but yeah.
And then, do you have any thoughts on what could be done about this issue?
Yeah, maybe create a support group or join one here that's already on campus, just finding resources in a group that you have other people to relate to and understand what you're going through.
After hearing these women share their stories and hearing outsiders' input, we wanted to take a call for action. Our call for action was contacting FICARE and contacting iConnect to implement education into the university for their students. We wanted to contact FICARE so that they can focus on the sexual harassment and the sexual violence aspects of this issue against women who like women. And then we wanted to contact iConnect so that they could focus on the diversity aspects, like, for example, the sexualization of homosexuality and the sexualization of women intersecting to hypersexualized women who experience attraction to women, and then also the unfair reactions towards gay men versus gay women, how gay men might be frowned upon or seen as gross, but then like women they're acceptable. It's okay because it's hot or it's sexualized. And so we wanted to contact those two parts of the university so they could keep this issue in their education. And then what you can do as an individual on campus is confront your own biases that you might have, and then work to overcome them and stand up for it. If you see anything, if you hear anything, stand up for it. And so we can all work together to create a safe and welcoming campus for women who experience attraction to women here at the U of I.